Welcome to Unwritten Stories of Significance. Have I got a story for you? This story came to me when I was on Instagram, and stories come to me in different ways. But when we look at the title of the show, Unwritten Stories of Significance, this story is significant. It's got feelings, it's got inspiration, it has a story that's going to let you know that you can overcome, as well as using your story for greatness and change. So with no further ado, I would like to introduce to you Serena Tejpar. Serena, thank you. Hi there, honey.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, sweetheart. Just to correct myself, did I say your last name correct?
Tejpar, yes.
Okay, honey, you're welcome, sweetheart. It is a pleasure having you on. It really is, because as I was saying to the viewers, this story touched me because you went through something which you're going to share in this segment here. But in the second one, you're going to share what you're doing with it. So I'd like you to introduce yourself to the viewers, because I know you, but our beautiful viewers don't.
Well, my name is Serena. I'm currently a medical student at University of Toronto. And yeah, my life experience, life journey is not what I thought it would have been.
All right, honey. Well, I'm going to help you out here. So, because it is a beautiful story, but at the same time, it is very, very touching. So if you understand what I just said there, honey, it really is. If you can share with us, and then we'll go more into your schooling and everything. Mm-hmm. You went through something that was major in your life in the year 2016. So if you can share with us the reason why you're on the show, but at the same time, what you went through in 2016, and we'll bring up these pictures that's going to embrace the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was about 6 years ago, later in 2015, actually. So I was the backseat passenger of a car. And despite wearing my seatbelt, I suffered a sheared aorta, collapsed lungs, T&L fractures. So my spine was fractured numerous places, broken pelvis and sacrum, bruised liver, spleen, pancreas, you name it. Every internal organ of mine was damaged. And I was brought to the nearest trauma center, and, you know, being originally from Calgary, my family, you know, wasn't in town. And when my mom had called to figure out where I was or what had happened, because I didn't make it to my final destination, and usually I communicate with her, they told my mom that by the time she comes, it might be too late.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, we're looking at each other, because I know yes, yeah. I know it's hard. So if you can just delve a little bit more, if you don't mind. So you went through such a traumatic accident. Can you just, what was going through your mind, if you can reflect back then? Because the ending of this show is very touching. So if you can just share what it is like to have gone through that, and what you dealt with within the hospital as being a patient and hooked up to all these monitors and machines. And
absolutely. So for me, you know, the accident in itself, I don't remember. I woke up and I was in one piece that I knew, but I was attached to so many monitors. Yes. I was hooked up to a ventilator, so I wasn't able to speak. You know, I was put into an induced coma for about a month. And by that point, my muscles had atrophied. They were so weak. There was so much that I couldn't do. And I think that my journey really began then, when I came to, was weaned off of all the pain medication, was less groggy and more awake, and had realized what had happened. I went through, you know, daily physiotherapy, was seen by the neurologists daily to see, you know, if my brain was intact still. It had been deprived of so much oxygen during that time. The orthopedic surgeons for my injuries, the vascular surgeons for my aorta. There was a lot that that was still uncertain. They weren't sure what treatment regimen would work, how long some of the stents or things that were put inside of me would last. And all I could remember was, I can't wait to get these tubes out. And that seemed to be the only motivation. I wanted to get the tubes out and get back to school. So I remember, one day the respiratory therapist was like, okay, next step, 24 hours, without the ventilator. Or, you're not needing, or you don't need that support. So how long can you go without needing extra support to breathe? And I was like, bring it on. What's next? And I kept taking these one hurdle, one stride at a time, because I knew that was the only way to get out. And that seemed to be, my only motivation.
Wow. There's a picture that you shared with us. And when you were on a monitor and you had to dive into your pictures, you were so sweet, to share one. But there's a picture there, if we can just show that, just to bring a little visual to your story here, Han. I know what got you through it, because you've explained that. But when you look back at it, how did you mentally get through it? Because how long were you in the hospital for?
A total of 2 months.
2 months. So how, when you're lying there and you have that monitor beside you, how did that, as a young girl at the time, what age? Because you're 25, sorry?
18.
18 years old.
Yeah.
So you're literally first or second year of university.
Yeah.
Second. Right.
Yeah.
Wow, hon. So how did you mentally survive through that? If you can share that with our viewers.
It wasn't easy.
No.
Yeah. That's an understatement. I am so fortunate that my friends and family were by my side. I had family fly down from all over the country, all over the US to be by my side. And I consider them my biggest support systems. I also had a huge support system in the healthcare staff. Nurses would come by. I was a regular. They knew me. And it was lovely to see a familiar face. The caretaker and housekeeping staff would come by, say hi to me. And it was that feeling of, I'm not alone here.
Yes.
And I think that really helps. There's one memory that actually sticks out. It was closer to Christmas, and I love Christmas. And I was
so do I.
I love it so much.
Yes.
It's just joyful time. And I was so sad to have missed Thanksgiving, Christmas almost. And then shortly after that is my birthday. So thinking about that, I was like, I'm going to be in hospital for so long. I'm by myself while I wait for my family to come in the morning. And I think one day the emotions just caught up, and I was quite teary. And one housekeeping staff, as she regularly does every morning, come by to change the bag. The bag of linen. She realized that, she noticed that I was quite upset. So she asked if she wanted she wanted her to turn on the Christmas music. And so every day since then, for that whole week, she'd come by and turn on the Christmas music so that I wouldn't sit in silence. And it was that kind gesture that it made a world of a difference. So it wasn't there in my thoughts.
Wow, hon. Wow. Brings back memories of my own medical journey, honey. But this is about you. It's not about me. But I can totally relate. Totally relate. You shared a picture with us of these beautiful rocks to help you get through it. And these rocks, as you sent to me, that you were saying in your description, is from all over the country. So if you can just bring up that picture and share, like some of them are just so unique. So they were hand painted, I believe.
Yes. So as I mentioned, my family flew down from all over the country, all over the US to be by my side. And just outside of my hospital bed, there was a healing garden that is actually just outside the ICU in London, Ontario. And, many people go there, when they get time permission, I guess, to even get
Yes.
outside of the hospital bed.
Mm-hmm.
And my family had painted all of these rocks and kept them outside in the healing garden in hopes that it would help me recover faster.
Wow, my gosh. Like they're gorgeous. Like they're absolutely gorgeous. As I look at them, they're just amazing, you know, and they were all hand painted.
Yeah.
Wow. And you still go those rocks today, of course.
Yes, they're actually, I don't have them. They're outside in the healing garden for others.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, my love. When you look at yourself now, and I want to keep everything on segment 2, okay, that we're going to talk about your journey being in school and stuff like that, and the reason why you're on the show too. But when you look at your resilience, sometimes we don't think that we can get through stuff. What have you learned from going through that and that you want to share with others?
I think everyone has their challenges, and it comes in so many different forms, and you can't compare one person's challenge to another. Right. But I think that there are a few things that helped me, you know, get going or to get over this difficult time. And it was taking one step at a time. Because when I look at how far my recovery was or how long it would take me to get to who I was before, it was so overwhelming. So taking one step at a time, finding strength in those around you and finding support in those around you, because going through something as challenging as my challenge was, I could not have done it alone. There was no way. Wow. And I think believe in yourself, as cliched as that is. People would say that I was told I wouldn't be able to play tic-tac-toe because of my significant brain injury.
And you wouldn't, sorry, I didn't hear that, sorry.
That I wouldn't be able to play tic-tac-toe because of the significant brain injury that I had.
Wow.
Let alone function enough to go back to school. And I think that as long as I believed in myself, that I was able to reach my goals.
Yes.
So it didn't matter what others said.
That's right, hon. And on that note, we are going to definitely take a break. I'm even choked up right now, even just talking to you, honestly. But it's inspiring me, honey, as we speak. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Unwritten Stories of Significance with the beautiful, courageous, bold, young woman, Serena Tejpar. Serena, that first segment left me speechless. It left me speechless. It let me know that the little things in life we cannot complain about, because when the viewers and young people hear your story, they'll be inspired. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really do, hon. Now we go into the next chapter of your story, sweetie, on segment 2 here. So you would like to explain to us about your schooling. All right, hon. So where did you go to school? Where did you get your degree from, hon?
So my undergraduate degree, I got from Western University, and it was the second year, actually, of my undergraduate degree when all of this happened.
Yes, and there's a beautiful picture that we have of your parents where you graduated. That's gorgeous. How was that like when you look back at it and you went through such just a traumatic thing in your life that you're holding your degree with your parents standing there? How did that feel?
You know, when I think about it, while sitting in that hospital bed, I thought that finishing my degree was something that would never happen.
Yes.
So to have finally made it, to have finally graduated, and only a month after my graduating class was incredible. And to have my family by my side, immediately our first stop was the ICU. And we went straight there to show all of the nurses and doctors that because of everything that they did and the fact that they didn't give up on me, that's why I'm here. That's why.
Wow. So on the day of your graduation, you returned back to the hospital?
That was our first stop.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my God, you see how giving you are. Oh my God, that's
a little selfish. They they looked out for me, and they, protected my dignity. The nurses advocated for me. I had to show them. I had to show
Yes.
them that it was
You had to show it.
because of them. Yeah.
Awesome, hon. And now you're in your last year at the University of Toronto. My God, medical school. Oh my gosh. So how has that been, hon?
So medical school has been tough in its own ways.
Yes.
But I think that every year that passes and every patient interaction that I have, I'm constantly reminded of my experience being hospitalized. And I see myself in a lot of the patients. And I think that has helped me have a new level of empathy, because I know exactly what it's like to sit in that bed day in, day out, not knowing when I'll be able to leave. And having so much medical uncertainty.
Yes. Medical uncertainty. Could you elaborate on that?
Not knowing what's next, not knowing whether a treatment will work, not knowing where the scan will be the last scan.
Yes.
And I can appreciate that.
Yes.
From a different lens. But I think medical school is right where I am meant to be.
Wow, I can relate. I don't want to take away from your story and talk about me. I want to keep it on you, but I can 100% relate. 100% relate. So the reason why we're talking about everything that you're doing, the reason why you're sharing, is because this beautiful young lady, viewers, is an author. She is an author of the book, You Are So Much More. Serena, I don't want to talk anymore about this book because it is phenomenal. Why did you write this beautiful children's book?
Yeah. So this book it was so therapeutic to write. This book is something that I wish that I had in those moments, being in the hospital bed, not knowing what comes next, going through all of these emotions when doctors and nurses are telling you things, when your medical journey is changing so quickly and you're not sure what's next, not sure what's going on. This book I wrote so that others in a similar position would know that what they're feeling is valid, that it's okay to be upset, it's okay to be angry. Sometimes what they're going through is not fair. But then also, I think putting things into perspective. Each moment you are growing, you are courageous, you are resilient for just making it through this one day. And it is those words of affirmation and those statements of motivation that I think helped me get through each day.
Was it hard to write the book, to actually reflect back, to put what you went through, to put it into the book? You know what I mean? Like, how was that like?
I think that going through something as traumatic as I did, and having such significant life-threatening injuries, that once I was discharged from hospital, my recovery rehab wasn't over. It almost just began. And I think that these injuries are lifelong. They play into every aspect of your life, and they never seem to leave. They're always there in the background.
Yes.
And so I don't think I had to reach very far back for some of these emotions and some of these words of affirmations, because there are things that I continuously say to myself or remind myself, because these injuries, these illnesses, they're with you. They're part of you. They make you who you are today, but they also affect every aspect of your life, and they're never truly gone.
That's right, hon. I was listening to an interview that you did. It's on your website. And the words that stood out to me, if you don't mind if I quote it back for my viewers, and this really, really touched me. Tears don't make them weak. Crying is a strength.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Can you, because you said it on the interview, and I want you to just elaborate on that, share that more, because sometimes when we cry, we feel like we're weak, like you don't cry. But you're saying that gives you strength.
Yeah. I think all too often when, someone's going through something challenging, we say, don't worry, don't cry, don't be upset.
Mm-hmm.
Everything will be okay. And I think that there is some power to that, but I also think that what's lacking is that we don't often give space for emotion. We don't give space for dealing with things that you have lost, the person you used to be, the way you used to look, the way you used to feel, the way you used to function. And I think that needs to be mourned a little bit.
Yes.
But I also think that the emotions that you have help you get through to the next day. So giving that space and allowing you, or people in general, I think, to cry shows that you're like letting some of those emotions go and moving on to the next thing. And
Wow.
moving making it to the next day.
That is right. How long did it take you to write the book?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my. And you did, sorry?
Which is crazy.
Yes. While going to school.
While going to school. I don't know why I chose to do that, but it honestly was it was a very nice, I think, distraction from the hustle and bustle of medical school to just take that time and be with my emotions.
Wow, you're so, you speak so well. You really, really do. You speak so well. Who did the illustrations in that beautiful book?
Yes, so this was a family project. The illustrations, I'm looking over here because my book is right here.
Okay, do you want to hold it up?
Yeah.
There you go. I love the bold print because it's for 3 to 10 years old.
Yes, yes. This book was, the lovely illustrations are by my sister and my cousin, who are incredible artists.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Oh, look at all the pay. Oh my gosh. So it's a family project.
It's a family project, yes.
Wow. So how does your family receive that book when they know that it was written from such a deep place from your life? Now you're putting it back and inspiring children to not be scared and to feel what they're feeling and not be afraid to express it.
Yeah, I hope that they'll be proud. I think everyone who was around me at the hospital during that time can relate to something, whether it's the beautiful illustrations that sometimes look a little too familiar, or
yes,
the words that they may have said to me, or heard the nurses say to me. They're all familiar words, and I think give everyone around us some strength.
All right, hon. Now I know you held up the book, but I just want to ask you this. Can you just give a little synopsis about the book, just a little bit of the story?
Yeah, so it's not really a story, and it's not necessarily my story, but it's
right.
A book of inspiration with
that's right.
Words of affirmation and validation for the hills and valleys of emotions that come through during medical illness, whether it's acute or chronic.
Wow, hon. What's your feedback been so far? Has anybody given you any feedback on the book?
Yes, it's actually been I've heard from a lot of child life specialists and pediatricians, and it actually might be used as treatment.
Wow! Yeah. Oh my God! How did you feel when you received that, pretty girl?
It feels nice and warm inside. I think that I really truly just want others to have had what I would have wanted.
Yes. Yes, I would have loved that book when I was in the hospital.
Just to make things a little bit easier.
Yes, yes. And when you're alone at night, when you hear the water or the IVs or whatever in the machines, you can just reach over and you don't want to talk to anybody. You just want to sit alone and just do your own. If it be mental crying or physical crying and stuff like that. How proud are you of yourself, hon, when you look in the mirror every single day?
I think it's so hard. I think it's hard. I really truly have to take moments away to reflect on where I was. And I think that going through the hustle and bustle of daily life, it's so important to take those moments.
Yes, honey.
To see where we have been and where we have come.
Wow. You're a storyteller. You are a storyteller. Where can they get this beautiful book, hon? Where can they get this book?
So it's available on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Chapters, Indigo. Yeah.
Wow, you are so much more. Oh my Lord. You know something, hon? This story's been amazing. It really, really has. So your next chapter now, we only got half a minute left. What would you like to share with the viewers on before you go?
I would like to share that, no matter what life brings you or what situations it puts you in, I think it's important to have faith in yourself, to give yourself that positive self-talk, that no matter where life takes you, that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
You got it. And on that note, I thank you so much.